Hey, hello everybody. Happy Tuesday. Yes, August 1st, 2023. Man, where's the time going, right? Golly, August 1st. Beautiful day here in Houston. And man, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to have another opportunity to show up here and speak a message around the power of the comeback. I'm excited to be here just to be here, particularly from what I've been through, and I'm excited to know that people care, you guys care, and want to thank everybody for all their kind words and flowers and encouraging messages over the last several weeks. And so today, it's going to be a message a little bit about my journey and over since July 11th, I believe it is, and that was the day of the surgery and what I went through in that process and some of the peaks and valleys and why that, because I want people to understand that maybe going through what I went through or worrying about going through surgery and all those things that it will be all right. And then there's really the thing about it is picking up on, and I said this and part of our branding is living life through the pause. What did you learn? What are you going to do differently? How can you be that person that you want to be? Whatever that pause might be, it may not be medically related, it might be financially, it might be relationship-wise, it might be community service. It could be a host of different things that we're all meant to do and serve and live in. So what is it that is part of your pause, right? And so today, just going to chat with you for a little bit and kind of speak about, I think I talked about in the messaging prior to this, hey, here's some things I've kind of struggled with in my real estate business and some of the disappointments around that I've had here recently, and to my previous event with my prostate surgery. It's no secret there, and the fears around that. But I want to hope you can hear me. If you can't hear me, lean in a little bit. My voice is coming back. I don't know why I went, but it's coming back, so just kind of huddle up a little closer if you can't hear me that well. All right. So anyhow, my name is Jeff Tyson, and I'm kind of known as the comeback king, and I talk a lot about why that is at different times. But really, my whole life has been about the roller coasters, personally, and self-doubting myself as a little boy, struggling academically, to this athlete that had fame in school, but still not certain of himself, still not sure where I fit in, right? Why does nobody still not like me? I know I'm not the only one that had times growing up where it's like, man, this world is crazy. I'm not sure where I belong. I'm not sure that I like myself, all the self-loathing that goes along with that. And I'm not saying all that because of poor me. That's just the reality of where my life was, man. I had two loving, great parents and who instilled, they are the reason why the person you see today stands here with determination, that stands here with grit, that stands here with this relentless passion for life, man, because that's how they raised us. That's the examples that they gave to us, right? And so parents out there, listen to me when I tell you this, that your kids become what they see, not what you tell them. So be careful. And back in the day, the access to information that we had was limited to 3 channels. And it's not like it is today. So if your kids are our kids, I have grandbabies, I want running around with the confusion that I had among other things in life and nowhere to take that. They have access to the internet and they'll find an answer to that question. And so my challenge to you is, whose answer do you want your children to listen to? Whose answer do you want your children to pattern their decisions around? What they find on the internet, or what they get from you? So I challenge you to dial into where you are with your kids. They're going back to school now. You know, and my granddaughter, the oldest one, she's going in the 8th grade. So, and she's had some challenges and the whole bullying and all that stuff that goes along with that. And we talk, right? And her mom talks, and so we chat. Why? That's fine. And so, you know, I'm sure that's why I'm in this space right now. So anyway, let me get back. I made a few notes so I don't wander, because there's a lot spinning around in my head, and there's a lot I want to deliver to you in this short period of time we have. And most importantly is this, that there's no magic to the power and the comeback. We've all done it before. We should be excited about that, because it's not something that you have to have special abilities to do, right? It's really about being willing to, you know, because life's not made up of, you know, flowers and rainbows, man. It's life is tough sometimes, and it's not so much about how hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and then keep moving forward in life, right? Not blaming other people, but every time you get a setback, you get back up and you get more determination. So it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. So I challenge you, wherever you are right now, in your business, in your relationships, in your community, whatever it might be, what are you willing to do? You know, there's all these discussions around mindset. There's all these discussions around the ultimate mindset. You know, are you willing to do it when you don't feel like it? Are you willing to do whatever it is you say you want when you really are sick? Are you willing to do it when you haven't had the success you think you should have by now? And nobody's going to help you. Are you willing to continue to step into it? Are you willing to be persistent? Og Mandino says, persist until you succeed. If you haven't read Og Mandino stuff, The Greatest Salesman, I encourage you, go check it out. There's some principles and some scripture. Man, just go check that out, right? And remember this, that if you keep showing up and if you're persistent about where you're going, man, you're going to do it. So all these things I'm talking about right now was what I had to live through, right? Because the surgery process, let me back up. You know, I did some research. I encourage you, if you're going through whatever it is, do your research, get the best team around you that you can do, and then do your part in showing up. And so my part was a little delayed. I procrastinated in certain periods of time. You know, and they told me, hey, your PSA is getting high. And so now when I finally make a decision, I'm a little worried now. Okay, so Jeff, you know, you should have responded sooner. All this noise going on in my head, right? But good news is that, you know, they removed my prostate and they removed the lymph nodes around it, which is kind of that highway to the rest of my body, guys. And I got to tell you, those came back clean, cancer-free, right? All that worry and all that anxiety I carried, and the shame and the guilt. So if that's you and you're carrying it, man, let's just sit it down. Let's just sit it down on the ground at the feet of whatever you believe in, whoever you believe in, and step into living life through the purpose. Because during that time, you know, I got released from the hospital, and it was probably too early because I went home, and then the next day I was not feeling well. The second day I was worse. And so I'm back in the hospital now, scared really, because, you know, you have surgery, your body's supposed to reacclimate and really start to pass things out again, right? And mine wasn't. And I'm thinking, man, my legs were swollen and all this stuff. And I couldn't really, you know, I had a tube, NGO tube all the way down my belly trying to relieve some of the pressure. It was bad, man. And once again, my part was to get up, walk around, keep moving. Get up, walk around, keep moving. And I did that, no matter how I felt. I gotta tell you, man, you know, I really got a greater appreciation for the things that I've taken for granted, like getting up by myself, like moving around by myself, bending over by myself, to doing all the other things that we do that, you know, healthy people are able to do, man. So I really had some empathy for folks who don't have that luxury. Don't have, just everything, take it for granted. Because I had tubes coming out of me and body bag filling up with fluid from my body. It just was nuts, man. So I'm battling with all this noise, right? But as I talk to you about living life through the pause, man, I've learned in my life, all right, what's the message that's in this thing for me? And the messages don't always come in big, pretty boxes. They come in other human beings. They come in messages. One guy out of the blue I met, and he worked at the hospital, and I'm walking, and he stops me. He says, "Excuse me, sir, how are you doing today?" He says to me, "I feel compelled to tell you that keep doing what you're doing. Whatever it is that you're doing in your life, you keep doing what you're doing." He said, "People need to hear your message." I know this guy from the Man on the Moon, right? And then my wife and I'm out walking again, and I meet another gentleman, and I say hi to him, and we talk, and he's, one of the physicians at this institution, and he's going through some really bad stuff, man. And he tells me, "You're going to be all right. You're not done yet." So, and then there's other events like that. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that has those encounters with folks. I'm sure I'm not the only one that wonders, okay, what the hell was that? Hey, I know what it was, right? And so I tell you these things because, man, that's kind of how my experience was through the pause. And then it just reinforced for me that what we put out, because I believe we're all bottles of energy, and we get what we put out. And people say, "Well, I try to do this transformation thing, and it doesn't work for me." And then and then you talk to them a little bit more, and they say, "Well, what part of the energy level are you doing? What part of the mind training are you doing? What are you really doing to help yourself get this thing figured out, right?" Are you doing the things that you allow yourself to do that? So I'm telling you that. Man, I know I'm getting off, but let me get back to what the point of this is. These are things that were happening to me when I was trying to choose to just feel sorry for myself, to choose to be upset that I had to go back to the hospital again, to choose to point the finger at who made the mistake as to why I'm back here in the hospital. I did a little bit of that. But I did a lot more breathing, a lot more about, okay, what is the next thing? And how can I help somebody else that's going to be in the same space, right? What is it that I'm meant to learn from this, man? And so I do these things. I'm walking with this tube. I got my gown open, and I'm shuffling around the hospital. And I want to give a shout out to the 9th floor, room 928, everybody that supported me there, and then room 905, man, we created a unity in those places, man, and it cheered me on, and I shuffled around in there, and find out how I could get outside, so I shuffled outside and walked around and explored, because that's how I am, right? But the noise was still running in my head. So I got released, and now I'm back here, and I want to just talk a little bit about the tremendous care that I got overall, and the physician and his team, and follow up, and my wife, she stayed when I was in the hospital. She stayed with me in the hospital when we had some accommodations. But you know how you in the hospital, man, every couple hours they're coming in, drawing blood, doing these things, and she's still trying to work too. And man, what a warrior. What a freaking warrior, man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I hope if the situation we ever have that the roles are reversed, that I deliver something close to what she did, man. And my siblings, they all traveled in, those that could, during the surgery, and stayed with me, and then my friends. I mean, they're so grateful for that. So I want to just kind of talk a little bit about what's next? You know, because I've hit the reset button and the refocus during the pause. And you know, I want to just, you know, I mentioned before around my real estate. You know, I've been at this full time since 2014 and done a lot of deals and made income and good decisions. And you know, the last couple of years I've not had that success, and I've caused some anxieties and damaged some relationships because I didn't perform like I was supposed to, and I said I take the responsibility for that, man. And now I have to work through those issues, and I will work through and mend the relationships that are soiled because I, quite frankly, didn't stand in there 100%. You know, I kind of just put my head down for a minute. Anybody else do that? Kind of hidden away from my responsibilities, and I'm not proud of that. But I'm not going to hold myself to shame about it anymore because I'm in the solution now. We'll find a way to make it work, right? Because that's what it's been like. That's been the examples of the life that I've lived for most of my life. And then the parenting, I mentioned to you earlier about that, and my mentors. Nobody's perfect. You know, why do I think I should be? Show myself some grace so that I can show you some grace. Show myself some forgiveness so I can show you forgiveness. Surrender the things that I cannot control anymore. So we're doing that, man. Moving forward, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to get done, right? And so I talk about, you know, and I look at the state of corporate America and employees and employers, and there are companies out there that want to keep their employees and reward those that are doing well. There is some rifts happening out there on the corporate platform. So, I mean, that's just the way it goes, right? But then there's also those employees that say, hey, I didn't go through the COVID resolution, you know, the leaving the mass exodus. I'm here, help me. So I work on putting tools together that bring them together now, right? These companies that want to bring the people back to the table, kind of get them refocused, kind of get the reset button, and give them a plan where they can move forward in their careers, and the companies that can feel comfortable knowing that they have something that works for them. How do we get to the table? How do we get through this pause, right? And so excited about some of those opportunities. And I just want to say, as I start to wind this thing down, that you know, and there's still some people out there that are ready to leave corporate America, and I've got something we're working on with how do you start your own business as a married couple, right? And what that looks like, and how do you do it singly, which is how I did mine. I got contact. Our guest coming up really is going to talk a little bit about that this month. So be aware of what's happening in conversations with you around opportunities to bring someone in like myself who understands the power of connection between employer and employee, understands the power of commitment between employer and employee, understands the power of clarity with a proven clear path of how people can move forward in their organizations. If that's you and you know some corporations like that, please have them reach out to me. My contact information is in the chat. Man. And so I wrap this thing up today, letting you know that health-wise, I'm on the comeback, baby. Right? I'm doing what the doctor ordered. You know, I'm shuffling around a little bit. They tell me I can't lift more than 10 pounds. So, you know, I have some 10-pound dumbbells, right? Oops, I'm telling my wife I'm probably not supposed to be lifting those, but I'm walking. And I'm coming back health-wise, spiritual-wise. I'm getting reconnected. I've forgiven myself for those things I've talked a little bit about, and excited about the opportunities that will bring to those of you looking for a speaker that can come in and help kind of connect the disconnected in your organization, that can help recommit those that are looking to be recommitted in the organization, and then give them a clear path moving forward, right? I'm excited about that opportunity. I want to say thank you to all of you that have supported me. And listen, I want to say this to you. Greatness is not what you've done. It's what you do next. So I challenge you. What is it that you need to do to set yourself on another path? What have you done during the pause that you stopped doing that you know was what was meant to happen, that you were meant to take away from the pause in your life? And let's chat about it. So as I wrap this thing up, please share this message, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and let me just say this to you, that there is no better time than now to hit the reset button, step into the pause, live life through that pause, like I've explained it to you, and become a member of Conversations with Jeff. Share this information, subscribe it, and we'll see each other soon. So thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you in a couple days. All right. Remember, no more stinking thinking. Come back, King. Says, if I can do it, you can do it. Let's get busy. Change your thoughts, change your life. Take care. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.